So in this lecture series, we'll study about special relativity. Now, let us first discuss the concept of relative velocity. Okay, so this concept of relative velocity, as you might have studied in your basic +2 classes. So what does this concept say? So let us have a quick review. So consider you have a ball, and this ball is moving at a constant velocity u along x-axis. Okay, so let it move in this direction along the right hand side. Now a person standing on the road, so consider this is a person standing on the road. This person will calculate the velocity of ball, okay, as u. So velocity calculated by the stationary observer is u. So this is the velocity of the ball that this person who is standing on the road calculates. Now consider on the same road there is a particular car. This car is moving towards the right at a velocity v. So can you guess what the velocity of the ball, what velocity of the ball the driver in the car will calculate? Obviously the driver in the car will calculate the velocity of the ball as u minus v, assuming the ball is traveling faster than the car. So u minus v. Now let me name the observer. Say the stationary observer is O, and the observer that is moving, that is the driver in the car, say that I name the observer as O dash. Okay, so you can see we have considered a ball that is moving at a velocity u, and we are trying to calculate what is the velocity calculated by two observers in two different frames. In one frame the observer O is stationary and it is not moving, and it calculates the velocity of the ball is u, which is the original velocity of the ball. In another frame where the observer is in a moving frame, the moving frame means it is in a car and the car is moving at a velocity v, and the velocity calculated by the driver in the car is u minus v. Okay, so consider the man and the car and the ball all are at the same position in x-axis, that is x equals to 0. Now in time t, so consider the time that has elapsed is t. So what happens after time t? So after time t, so when the time was t equals to 0, so everybody started moving. The ball started moving with its velocity u, and the car started moving with its velocity v. So everybody started at the same time, and the observer was at rest all the time. What happens in time t? In time t, since the velocity of the ball is greater than the car, so the ball will cover a greater distance somewhere around here, and the car will cover a distance in time t somewhere around here. Agreed? So all this has happened in time t. Oh, so this is not time t dash, so this is time t. So can you tell me what are the coordinates of the ball calculated by each of the person? Well, the standing observer, the observer who is standing, he calculates that the ball has reached a x coordinate, I mean a distance of u into t. Agreed? Now the car, now in the time t, the car has moved a distance vt, okay, and the ball has moved a distance ut. So according to the car, the distance between the car and the ball is, so let me write according to the car means let me put a dash. So what is the coordinate calculated by the car? The car says that the object, the ball is at a distance ut minus vt, distance far away. So this is the distance between the car and the ball after time t. Agreed? Now the observer, the stationary observer O, he can say the following thing. He can say that the distance that I have calculated, the observer O is saying that I have calculated a distance x that the ball has covered in time t. So this distance x must be equal to the distance that the moving car has calculated plus, so the moving car has calculated a distance x dash, so this blue line is the x dash, plus the distance the car has moved, that is vt. Agreed? So this is the transformation of coordinate as calculated by the observer O. By observer O, I mean the stationary person. Now, what does the driver in the car says? The driver in the car would say that, so driver in the car is observer O dash. So driver in the car says that the coordinate that I measured. So what is the coordinate that the driver measured? The driver measured a coordinate x dash. So this coordinate is equal to the coordinate that the stationary person measured minus the distance that the driver has covered. Okay, so these are the transformations. So these transformations are quite logical. These transformations are quite logical, and this transformation is called the Galilean transformation. It comes, the root of Galilean transformation lies in the basic classical Newtonian physics. So remember, this is the Galilean transformation. Now that we have calculated the Galilean transformation, now I want to say a very interesting thing. Consider the same experiment. So everybody is at x equals to 0 at time t equals to 0, and things started moving. Let us consider the same experiment. Let me draw the diagram in a different style. So before continuing with the Lorentz transformation, let me just do one more step here in the Galilean transformation. Just one more simple mathematics. So what is the velocity that the ODES observer calculates? So the ODES observer is observer that is sitting in the car. So the ODES observer calculates a velocity u minus v. So what is velocity? Now velocity is actually x dash, that is the distance that the driver calculated of the ball divided by time taken. So this is how the driver calculates the velocity of the ball. Now let us see if the mathematics is correct. So what is x dash? X dash is x minus vt, okay, divided by t. So what this will fetch? This will fetch me x by t minus v. Now can you tell me what x by t is? X by t is the velocity of the ball that the observer O calculates. So I can write u minus v. So yes, everything fits. So the velocity calculated by the driver of the ball is u minus v. Okay, so keep this in mind. This is going to help us, and keep this also in mind. Okay, what if now I tell you something very weird, something that you won't believe, but just assume that it is true. So consider the ball is moving at a velocity v, and the velocity that the O observer calculates of the ball. So what the O observer calculates? The O observer calculates the velocity of the ball as u. Agreed? Now what the velocity does the ODES observer calculates? Now you would say that of course the velocity of the ball that the ODES observer calculates is u minus v. But what would happen if the observer in the car also calculates the velocity of the ball as u? Now you would say this is weird. How can this happen? This is very weird. It's not possible. How can the both the observer, one is at rest and one is moving towards the ball, calculate the same velocity of the ball? This is impossible. But my friends, it is true in case of velocity of light. So instead of the ball, if this were a light pulse moving at a velocity c, so look at the diagram. So it is true in case of light. So if a pulse of light moves in the x direction, then the stationary observer calculates the velocity of the light as c, and amazingly the driver who is moving towards the light at a velocity v also calculates the velocity of the light as c. This is very weird. This is amazingly weird, but this is true. This is based on the special relativity postulate that the velocity of light is same in every frame. whether you are moving towards the direction of light, or you are moving away from the light, or you are just stationary, you will always calculate the velocity of light as c. So this is something quite disturbing, and we have to accept it because we have experimental evidence that this is true. Now the question is how to go on developing the mathematics of this particular thing. So now we have said that the velocity of light calculated by the moving frame and the stationary frame is same. So question is what happened? Okay, and mathematically what do we say that the because of this has happened? Okay. So what has happened? What has happened is that the moving frame, the space and time of the moving frame always changes, and when the space and time of the moving frame changes, the calculation done by the moving frame also changes. Now this is a real fact, that's why both the observer, they measure the velocity of light as c. Now how to mathematically incorporate this factor and this observation that both measures the same velocity? So remember the derivation we did last time. This was a simple derivation that we did in case of ball. But what has happened now? Our intuition says that even if instead of ball there is light, then h dash divided by c should measure the velocity of light as c minus v. So this is the common intuition says that this should be the case, but this is false. This does not happen. What actually happens is that, see, what is this? X by t is the velocity of light that the stationary observer measures. So this velocity of light is c, and our intuition dictates that the velocity that the moving observer should measure, the velocity of the lights measured by the moving observer should be c minus v, but this is false. So what is true? The truth is the moving observer somehow measures the velocity of light, even if it is moving towards the light, measures the velocity of light as c. So if the moving observer measures the velocity of light as c, something must have happened to the space and time of the moving observer. And this something that happened to the space and time of the moving observer, let I say mathematically that a gamma factor has happened. I mean to say that if instead of measuring x dash by t, that is velocity of light in the moving frame, instead of measuring c minus v, if it is measuring a velocity of c, then something must have happened in this step of the calculation. When I write x minus vt, okay, that's something which has happened, say that is gamma. So gamma is a factor that has happened. So gamma is a factor that has happened. Now this not only the gamma has happened in the numerator, but there has been a change in the time calculated by the moving observer, and that change in time is t dash. What I mean to say is, for a moving observer, the space x dash and the time t is not same as the coordinate of the stationary observer. Now you would say that time is same for everybody. If t time has elapsed for the stationary observer, then t time must have elapsed for the moving observer. Time is a universal thing. But no, according to the experiment, time is not a universal thing. The time that is measured by the stationary object is different from the time that is measured by the moving object. So all this mathematics and all this drama has led us to two things. One, the time calculated or measured by the moving observer is different, and second, something has happened to the space of the moving observer, or something has happened to the measurement of length, So what is x-dex? X-dex is a measurement of length. By length I mean how far the light has moved away from the car when the car is at this position. Okay, so two things have happened. The time has changed, so time is different for a moving observer, and something has happened with the space of the observer. I mean something has happened with the calculated length of the moving observer, and that something is called as gamma. Agreed? So let me write in in the form of equation. So two things has happened. So something has happened to the coordinate measured in the moving frame. So what has happened? So the coordinate measured by the moving frame, that is x-dex. X-dex is the beam, length of the beam that is away from the car. Okay, so that is related to the transformation x minus vt through a gamma. Okay, and gamma says that something has happened to the value of x-dex. And time, that we said that if t time has gone, then we assume that t time has elapsed for the car and t time has elapsed for the uh, stationary person, and t time has elapsed for even the light. But as I said, time is not universal, and something has happened to the time. Because if something, if the moving observer is measuring the same velocity of light as a stationary observer, then it is quite logical to think that something might have happened with the coordinate measurement. So what is x-dex? X-dex is not only the coordinate measurement, but it's a length measurement. Okay, it means something has happened to the measurement of length, and even the time is not same. So the only way I can say the time is not same is by writing t dash. So t dash indicates that the time, so when t time has elapsed for the stationary observer, the time elapsed for the moving observer is t dash. So these two are no more same. Classically these two are same because time was universal, but modern physics, after the invention of relativity, it is said that the time elapsed in a stationary frame is different from the time elapsed in a moving frame. So the question is, how time is related, how t dash is related to t. So let us derive that part. Agreed? So let us see how t dash is related to t. Okay, so it's very easy to see. Let us check out. We know that t dash is nothing but, let me write in a different way. Okay, agreed, let me write in different. So what is the velocity measured by the moving frame of the light? The moving frame measures a velocity x dash divided by t dash. So this is the measurement, and this measurement gives that the velocity of light is c, the same as the velocity measured by the stationary frame. So now what can I do is a little bit of algebra. I can write t dash in the form of x dash by c. Agreed? Now what is x dash? As I already mentioned, that something has happened to the x dash, and that something which has happened is the factor gamma. So I can say x dash is gamma x minus v t divided by c. Agreed? Now I can write t dash as, keep the gamma as it is. Okay, take the c inside, so I get x by c, and I get a minus sign of v. I get a c here, and I get a t here. Okay, remember t is the time that has elapsed in the stationary frame. So what is my t dash? So t dash, keep the gamma as it is. So what is x by c? So x by c is nothing but the time in the stationary frame. Agreed? So keep the v by c as it is. Can you tell me what is t? T is nothing but the velocity measured in the t is nothing but the time that has elapsed in the stationary frame. So this can be written as x by c. So why I have written x by c? Because you see at the top, because the stationary observer measures the velocity of light as c, and the only way it is measured is by looking at in the time t how far the light has moved. So in the time t, the stationary observer measured that the light has moved by a distance x, and in this way it arrived to the conclusion that the velocity of light is c. Now, so this further, here look at down, we are writing t dash. So the last step says that t dash is related to t in the form of t, so there is a gamma factor as it is, so it will be Vx by c square. Okay, so till now we just got two equation. One equation says that the measurement done by a moving frame is different, and that thing has been incorporated in the equation x dash is equals to gamma x minus vt. It means something has happened to the measurement of the x dash coordinate in the moving frame, and that something that has happened is gamma. We have another formula that relates t dash and t. This formula says that the time measured by the moving frame, something has happened to the time measured by the moving frame, and it is not equal to t. That something which has happened is gamma, and the way t and t dash is related is this formula. So far we got only two transformations, but we are still unknown of the fact what gamma actually is. So in the next lecture, we'll explore a bit more on this.